where do I begin? It's a long story. But when I will express milk, I will be expressing for 2 hours. It will only be 30 milk. I'm like, what is this life? Welcome to today's episode. In the multitude of stories, we will realize that our lives are very interwoven with the very women around us. And today we're going to be hearing another pregnancy story by a communications design specialist, CEO of VER, but most importantly, my big sister, Comfort Indububa. Welcome and thank you for honoring my invitation. I believe that your story is worth telling. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So I just want to, let's get right to it. How did you find out that you were pregnant?
So that week, I was feeling too many things I didn't understand, and I was just going to chest it. It happens all the time. Like I get some back-to-back headaches, so I was just going to in a few days to go, but this time it did not go anywhere, and I started having feelings that maybe this is what it is, but it can never be me. But
why can it never be you?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So I really complained to my husband that I wasn't feeling well. I would cry about it. Sometimes I say I don't feel well, and then next day is okay. But I was crying and I was just feeling terrible. So we went to the hospital and I was expecting, you have malaria and typhoid, take this drug and you'll be okay. But so we got the test result and went to the doctor's office for the interpretation of the results. And he said, oh, so you're pregnant, so take... I'm like, that's not what I came to hear. I just came to say you give me drugs for malaria or something, but he said it so...
casually, like he thought you already
And it really upset me. I was really upset with the doctor. You don't just say those kind of... First of all, you don't say that. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear. Right? And then don't just say it that way. Like, you're pregnant, so move on. I didn't like it.
Wow.
But so yeah, that's how I found out.
Wow. So how was the days after that leading up to that? What was it like for you? Especially because it wasn't something you wanted to hear, like you said. So
yeah.
What was that like?
So that day was a Saturday, and I was just thinking, where did I drop Zara? But she hadn't come then, so it was just me and my husband. So he had to go to site, and so he dropped me at home. I went home and I was groveling on the floor. I was crying. Then our big sister called me, and I was crying about her. I just found out this, and she was so excited, and I was so upset. And the remaining days, I had a million things go through my mind. In that moment when I was crying, though, before our big sister called, I heard ease in my spirit, and God promised me that He was going to make it easy for me. He knew that I told Him I didn't want, this is my life schedule, and I didn't want all that. And so when I heard that, it made me feel a bit better, but I didn't feel great about it. But in the next few days, I was crying. Every time I remember, I would just be crying and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was crying for the next few days. I considered removing the child because I was one of those people no, I don't want children. Don't bring him my way. Yeah. So
I think at various points it might have crossed our mind. For me, it wasn't that I didn't want a child at that time, because contrary to yours...
You definitely wanted children.
Wait now. Contrary to yours, my child came at my own time. At my own time, I wanted my child to come at this particular time, and I got pregnant at that particular time. But because of how difficult my pregnancy was, I had considered. And I just want to, pause to talk to anyone, whoever especially a Christian girl who, because of the difficulty or because of the timing of your pregnancy, you ever thought the thoughts crossed your mind. Don't beat yourself up. Of course, don't go through with the thoughts. What matters is what you do with it. Don't go through with the thoughts. Encourage yourself in the Lord and move on. But don't go through with the thoughts. And I'm going to leave it for Comfort to encourage you to ask her how she feels now about having a child. You have a 2-year-old now.
Yeah.
And how you feel about her, how your experience has been having her. But I just want to say, don't beat yourself up. Don't let the devil beat you up that, oh, I felt this way about this and this is, and don't just skip all of that. What matters was what you did with the thoughts. And if out of the pressure you went through with it, and still encourage yourself and make better choices in the future. So yeah, so how do you feel now? You have a 2-year-old. How has that been?
Okay, so I should first say that um, I dealt with the guilt of feeling the way I felt. I felt like something was going to happen to my child because of the way I was feeling.
Wow.
So I had to always go back to
Was this
God's
while you were
word.
pregnant, or
Yeah,
now
like
that she's...
maybe 1 month into 2 months, 3 months, I felt like anytime I was throwing up, I was going to throw up.
I wish that was how they used to come out.
Like maybe I was going to throw up my child, or I would just wake up and she's no longer there or something. And then a lot of times during, first of all, the word pregnant was heavy in my mouth. I could not say it for long. Maybe I started saying it around 6 months or something, when doctor would just talk to me about things I'm supposed to know that I don't know, because I never paid attention to this topic because it's not for me, right? But I had to go back and, like, in those moments where I feel like something's going to happen, hold on to God's word. I mean, there are times when I felt like God's word was not going to work for me because I had undone it by many things I had said. But then I learned that God by himself put those things there. You did not influence him to do it. And then he's going to by himself keep those words. So everything I saw about anything, you will not cast your young. I just held on to everything that God said.
Amazing.
How I feel now, in like maybe from 6 months, because for the first few months I was not in my house, I was everywhere. My family members were carrying my child for me because I was still in that. I didn't want my life to change. I was very used to working and stuff. I just didn't want all that. So she was held by people. So when we started staying together around 6 months and stuff, I felt like she was my friend. I was happy to have her in my space, right? And every new thing about her was so exciting, right? Her birthday is tomorrow, and we called my mom and she sang happy birthday for her. And she said, "Where's the cake?" And I'm like, "You are 2 years old. How can you say?" So finding out like some things like that is just fascinating. And right now, I'm very grateful for her. Like,
Wow.
very grateful. She has taught me so much. She has taught me patience. In the real sense of I thought I was, but no, there's a whole new level of things that
That's
you
right.
learn when you become somebody's mother. So yeah. No, I'm very grateful. Very grateful. I won't change anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. Would you encourage women out there who feel like, I wasn't expecting a baby at this point? What encouragement would you give to them?
First of all, it's not a mistake. It happened at God's time. He wasn't unaware like you were, right? So just rest in that fact that God knew it was coming and he has prepared for it. And so just rest in the fact that God knew and he's going to take care of everything. And then just take your life as it comes, do what you can, and then move. I guess.
Okay, that's very powerful. One thing I want us to talk about was things that surprised you in your postpartum, especially, the immediate days after the baby came. How was milk supply for you? How was, hearing her cries for the first time, especially because you said that you didn't pay attention to some of these things because you weren't expecting a child at that point. How was it adapting to the new parenting phase?
Okay, so so like we know, I wasn't paying any attention, so I wasn't reading anything. I started reading during pregnancy, like what should I know, right? So milk supply, like you said, I didn't have milk. So where do I begin? It's a long story. But when I would express milk, I would be expressing for 2 hours. It will only be 30 milk. I'm like, what is this life? So there were a lot of things that shocked me, really. About her crying, I think because I was not expecting a lot, everything didn't come much as a surprise because, okay, so this is what it is. right? So I wouldn't say anything really surprised me, but some things were different. The milk thing, the pain of breastfeeding.
Huh?
Ah,
Why does nobody tell us about that thing?
I was
No,
feeling it
no,
in my
no. Is
stomach.
this in your head?
I was feeling it everywhere, and
Yes.
they said it would get better in a few days, but it didn't get better for
Like
months.
weeks, yes.
Ah, no, no, no.
No, no,
They
no,
should,
no, no. That
they
latching
should talk
pain.
about. Oh no.
No, that latching pain, and
Ah.
the child is just going on their own business. But you're like, where exactly is paining me? No, no, that latching pain should be discussed
And
more.
I remember the doctor telling me that, why don't I have milk? Is the child not latching well? That please let's not talk about it. Yeah, so I don't know. It's another thing that surprised me is learning how to sleep. Because I like to sleep
Flat.
face down, right? But I could tell why it's good to sleep on your left side because it make you feel better. I feel like food is moving, but
Ah, it's true. When you
yeah,
eat, when you're, it used to
yeah,
stop here. It doesn't used to go
yeah. And
down.
when you lie down on your left side, it actually feels better. But it was uncomfortable for long.
Yes,
And then
yes,
that
yes.
pregnancy pillow that we passed around, everybody used
So
it.
it's an inside joke. We have a pregnancy pillow. It's so big, so it cannot stay in one person's house, especially when you're no more pregnant. So when my sister was pregnant, she passed it on to me. When I was done being pregnant, I passed it to another of our friends. When she was done being pregnant, we just keep rotating it. When next she's pregnant, she'll find out
I'll
where
get
it is.
it. Yeah. So that also helped. And using a pillow between your legs. That was nice. What else shocked me? Well, people were nicer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. People were nicer to me and I so I didn't like how pregnant women used to it added to the whole thing. I didn't like how pregnant women carried themselves. So I also became kinder to pregnant people after.
Yes,
Because you
because
don't know
you
what
finally
they
were
are
in their
going on.
shoes. Yes.
Yeah, you don't know what they are going through. So I I learned that.
Yes, I think after delivery as well, I became kinder to just everybody around me because I was like, is this worth your? Is that what your mother went through to bring you out?
Yeah.
No, I respected humanity afresh after I had a baby. Next question I want to ask is how you were able to ease back into your professional life. You've majorly worked remotely, but you've always been able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. How was navigating that with a newborn in your space?
Okay. So it was a real shock for me when I went back home. But when I was at my parents' house, I was still working. I had just 1 month of leave, right? And before then, I had prepared for the 1 month. So what if I was scheduling social media posts? I'd already scheduled for the whole month of March. So I didn't have to rush back, right? But and also because I worked remotely, I could do some stuff at night and all. But once I was alone with her, and I could not do anything was like the me of before was inside the me of now fighting for expression and I could not
Yes.
do anything about it. I wanted to sleep. I was tired. I could not keep my eyes open. I was just and I could tell what I wanted to do because I knew how effective,
You
efficient,
used to be.
excellent I was
All
before. And
three is 10
now
over 10.
no, just like I can't move my hand. If I move my hand one day, then they should applaud me because I have done so much.
Yes.
Right. And I think I had to learn to be okay with that and not beat myself up about it too much. And also not try to stay under. If I could actually do something, push myself to do it. It's not every time that it worked because I would say, okay, get up now. You can do this and it won't work because because I don't know, it was just a different
It's a
season,
different season.
right? But then learning to get back there. I mean, now I would say maybe it was easier to work with her when she could not move around. When she started moving, I started blocking everywhere. She learned how to climb the pillows. Now that she can move everywhere, she can drag my hand. She doesn't like me working. Once she's back from school, she would drag my hand. She doesn't like me working. And how to explain that to my bosses? I mean, I'm still learning how to navigate this time, but I guess it's just giving yourself time to
Yes.
understand where you're at.
Yes.
Nobody can really tell you how to navigate with your own life and your own career and everything, but You learn every day. God will
Yes.
grant you wisdom, I guess.
Yes. And I think it's also important to emphasize that it's a new season. Apart from it being a new season, it's a season, and it will pass. So enjoy this phase. They will not always need your attention as much as they do when they are a few months old. They will not always need your attention this much. So just enjoy this season, because you can never get it back.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
very
never get it
important that
back.
you said enjoy this season. I try to remind myself of that every time because she will get married one day.
Yeah.
I leave my house and they say I would look for her, even though I really doubt it. But I try to remind myself that it's not always going to be like this and I should enjoy it. When I
Yes.
started doing that, I started feeling better about being a mother. Before I used to be upset with her that I couldn't work because of her. But thinking about how it's going to pass and I will never have the opportunity again for her to be 1 year and around me and running
Yes.
and
Yes.
pulling my clothes and asking for
Yes.
I want Cerelac or I want milk and stuff like that. It makes me be kinder to her and just enjoy that place.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It does pass. It does pass if it's any encouragement, and enjoy the season. Try to enjoy your season. One last thing. How do you manage expectations from the office, knowing that they don't understand how much your season has changed? You're the one that understands how your season has changed. How do you manage office and official expectations?
I don't know the answer to that question,
That's the most honest answer I've ever gotten.
but I thank God because I've had kind people that I've worked with, especially around giving birth and having a child. And I guess also having a mother as a boss, like
Someone who has been in
who
those
has gone
shoes.
through that helped, right? So, and also being honest about what you can do. If you can't or you think deadline is too tight, let them know. Like, I'd really like to do this, but I can't right now. Will you give me an extended deadline or I'm sorry I can't meet up with it. I thought I could, but I can't. Just being honest about it and then um, working with what they say. Or if it's really important that we get to. I mean, you know how important it is to get it out. If it's so important, give up something. Call for help from family. Like ask people, can you watch my child for
For a
a
few
few hours?
hours, for a
Let
few
me get
days,
some
for a few
stuff
weeks.
done. I mean, I dropped Zara for a few days. Yeah, to get some stuff done. Yeah. Thank God for family. Family is always
Yes, thank God for
helpful.
trusted help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so final words. What would you say to a mom who has been in your shoes, or who is in your shoes currently? What do you think somebody told? What would you wish someone told you at that time? Or they told you, but it didn't just make sense, but it finally makes sense now.
We can absolutely do it. I mean, I didn't think I could. I felt like I needed so much work. I was still trying to discover myself. I had all these dreams. I wanted everything to be in place before she came, right? And I didn't think that her coming was, I felt like that was going to be the end of my life. I missed the opportunity for me to be everything I wanted to be, right? And she's going to come with a million and one things. And how will I even help her navigate her own life when I have not navigated mine?
Mine.
But you can absolutely do it. I mean, just taking each day as it comes, you'd see that the next day actually came, right? So that's what I'd say. You can absolutely do it.
Yeah.
It's possible. If I did it, anybody can.
Wow. That's so encouraging. Hug, hug, hug.
I don't want to hug you.
You hug me. Thank you very much for being here today.
You're welcome.
I do not take your wisdom for granted. Thank you for honoring my invitation. I believe your story is so multifaceted and it has to be told. I believe that it's going to encourage many women out there. They are going to tell us in the comment section that's how much your story encouraged them. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My
I also think
pleasure.
you're very wise.
Thank you.
I think in my
sister.
mind I call you my little big sister, but
You don't say it out.
I don't say it out loud. I can't
Thank God this one is on record. I'll play it like 1 million times. Anytime I want to hear it, little big sister, little big sister,
Oh.
little big sister.
Scratch that. I didn't say that.
No problem, it's on record. I hope this encouraged you. I hope this encouraged someone who their career had to be on pause because of their child. And if it's any consolation, your life does not end in your 20s, in your 30s, or in your childbearing ages. You still have a large large number of years ahead of you. You're going to get every single thing in your plan done. Just enjoy your childbearing ages. Enjoy how old your children are right now, and you can do it. You can absolutely do it. Because you like this video, share it with your friends and your loved ones, and then leave a comment. Tell us what exactly struck you. Tell us if Comfort Story blessed you, because it did. Tell us if there's something you learned from your own season that resonated with her season. Like this video, drop a comment, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell button. Have a lovely day.